Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are doing the ultimate showdown of the newest cartridges. We're going to look at most of the recent big game cartridges, and we are going to find out which one is the best one. Hope you enjoy the video. Now, before I show you the contestants, I just wanted to go over the parameters of this contest. Number one, we are only going to be using cartridges that excel with big game hunting. So what does that mean? Well, the least powerful cartridge on this list is going to be a 6.5 PRC. So for you 6.5 Creedmoor fans, sorry, this video might not be for you. The next criteria we're going to go over, we are only going to use hunting bullets. Lastly, what type of cartridges are we going to only include and how old? Well, let's start with the latter. We're going to start from the year 2000 and up, so modern day cartridges with modern day designs and with no belts. Sorry, belted Magnum fans, we're going to be left out in this one. Let's go ahead and introduce the cartridges. We're going to first start with Winchester, who introduced a bunch of cartridges in the early 2000s, and the most popular new Winchester cartridge is definitely the 300 Winchester Short Magnum. The next one we are also going to have in this contest is the 270 Winchester Short Magnum. And lastly, from Winchester / Browning, we have the new 6.8 Western. Coming in from the red corner, let's talk about the Hornady Big 3 cartridges. From the left, we have the very popular 6.5 PRC. In the middle, the hottest, newest cartridge, the 7mm PRC, and on the right, the underrated and not as popular 300 PRC. Coming in from the Nosler corner, we have the 280 Ackley Improved. Yes, this was Sammy-spec'd in 2009. Next, we have the 26 Nosler, the 28 Nosler, and lastly, we have the 30 Nosler. Last and certainly not least, one of my favorite brands of cartridges, we have the Weatherby cartridges. Now, the two cartridges we are going to include on this one is the 6.5 Weatherby RPM and, whoops, a belted cartridge, the 6.5 300 Weatherby. Let me show you how we're going to be ranking these cartridges. We're going to have some color coding once we introduce the cartridge, and this is the areas we're going to rank them: velocity, energy, drop, recoil, powder, caliber, diameter, availability, price, versatility. Some dark green, light green, yellow, and red. Fair warning, I'm going to do my best to be objective, but everyone has bias, including me, so you probably won't agree with how I rank some of these cartridges. Up first, let's start with the 270 Short Magnum. We're going to use a 150 grain AccuBond long range, and here are the numbers we are going to use. FYI, I'm going to be at near the top of what you can get while hand loading, but certainly your results will vary as you do your hand loads. So here are the numbers out to 500 yards. We are going to do 500 as the standard in this comparison. The drop is in MOA. On to recoil. How I measured this was with an 8-pound gun with no muzzle brake or suppressor. 25.85. Powder, we are burning usually around mid-60s, around 67 grains to get those velocities. The bullet diameter, so what does this mean? Well, how big is the bullet? How big of a hole you're going to put through an animal? And availability, it's poor. Same with versatility. With a slower twist rate, you're looking at bullets from 100 grain up to 150. And price, it's not bad. Overall points, 20. Let's move on to the next Winchester cartridge, the 300 Winchester Short Magnum. We're going to use a 210 grain AccuBond long range. Those are the velocities you could get, and there's the numbers out to 500 yards. Now, with this heavy of a bullet, it is dropping a bit more. Recoil is also a bit more. Now, the beauties of the WSM and 300 is how much velocity you're getting for how much powder you're burning. You're burning around the same as the 270 WSM, but getting way good velocities for 30 caliber. Really good diameter for hunting. Availability, it's pretty darn good. Versatility, well, it's 30 caliber, so it's the best. Price, it's pretty darn good. Points, 27. Let's go ahead and go on to the newest Winchester and Browning cartridge, the 6.8 Western. We are going to use the 165 grain AccuBall long range. There is your muzzle velocity and energy, and here are the numbers at 500 yards. Not too shabby. Drop, also pretty decent. Recoil, basically the same as a 270 WSM. As far as burning powder, this is a relatively efficient cartridge. On average, you're going to be burning 63, maybe a little less grains of powder. Bullet diameter, it's okay. Availability, poor. Versatility, it's pretty good. Price, it's not too bad either. Overall points, 22. Let's go ahead and look at the 6.5 PRC. We are going to use a 142 grain AccuBall long range. Muzzle velocity of 3,000 feet per second. And there's your energy. Your numbers at 500 yards. The worst, but it is the smallest diameter. Drop, pretty darn good. Recoil, huge advantage in recoil. As far as powder burning with efficiency and all that good stuff, it's pretty darn good. Bullet diameter, it is the smallest, so it's going to be pretty poor in my opinion. Availability, probably the best on this list, but it's good. Versatility, pretty poor. 6.5 millimeter is not known for its versatility. Price, good. Overall points, 21. On to Mr. Powdergate himself, the lovely 7mm PRC. All things considered, though, this is a pretty darn good cartridge. We are going to use a 175 grain AccuBall long range. There are the velocities and your velocities at 500 yards and your energy. Drop, it's pretty darn good. Recoil, pretty stout. Powder, it's okay. It is not efficient, but it's not extremely overbore either. Diameter, it's pretty darn good for hunting. Availability, as of right now, okay. I'm sure it's going to be good to great in the near future. Versatility, good. Price, pretty darn good. Overall points, 22. Let's now take a look at the 300 PRC. We are going to use the 210 grain AccuBall long range. There is your muzzle velocity and energy. At 500 yards, there's your numbers, and as of now, it is the most powerful cartridge on the list. Drop, not too shabby either. Recoil, not very good. Powder-wise, as far as shooting a larger diameter, it's really not too bad. It's not efficient, but it's not overbore either. Bullet diameter, well, it's a 308, so it's extremely good. Availability, factory ammo-wise, it's pretty poor. This is kind of a hand loader's cartridge. Versatility, 308, so it's the best. Price, it's not bad. Overall points, 24. Let's move on to the 280 Ackley Improved. We are going to use a 168 grain AccuBall long range. Muzzle velocity of, well, 2,900 feet per second. There's your energy at 500 yards. Performance is on the lower end. And your drop is also not as good. Recoil, though, it's not as bad as a lot of the others. As far as efficiency and how much powder we are burning, it is one of the best on the list, with it being 7mm and at most burning 60 grains of powder. Bullet diameter is quite good, being a 7mm. Availability is okay. Versatility is good. Price, sometimes okay and sometimes bad. Overall score, 22. Let's go to the Fire-Breathing Dragon 26 Nosler with a 142 grain AccuBall long range. Check out that muzzle velocity. It's smoking fast. Energy, pretty darn good. At 500 yards, it's going to be tough to beat in velocity. Energy, though, well, it's still a 6.5 caliber. Drop, one of the best. In fact, the best so far. Recoil, it's a lot. Powder, well, we're burning a lot of powder to get that velocity. Bullet diameter, not very good either, 264. Availability, poor. Versatility, poor, maybe okay because of the velocity. Price, very expensive. Overall score, 18. Now let's talk about Nosler's most popular cartridge, the 28 Nosler. We are going to use a 175 AccuBond long range. Muzzle velocity, 3150. Muzzle energy, good amount. 500 yards, plenty of velocity and energy. Drop, extremely good. Recoil, it's pretty rough. You're burning around 80 grains of powder, not as bad as the 26 Nosler is overbore, but still not good. Bullet diameter is definitely good. Availability, it's okay. Versatility, definitely there. Price, very expensive. Overall score, 22. Let's look at the very underrated 30 Nosler. We're going to use a 210 grain AccuBond long range. Velocity, very good at 3,000 feet per second. A lot of energy, in fact, the most so far. And then your energy at 500 yards, it is the most at 2,500. Drop, not bad, not good. Recoil, it's the worst. As far as powder and efficiency, it's about the same as a 300 PRC. Bullet diameter, it's 30 caliber, so very good. Availability, okay. Could probably convince me to put it as poor. Versatility, extremely good. Price, extremely expensive. Overall score, 24. Let's go to the 6.5 Weatherby RPM. We're going to use that 142 AccuBond long range. Muzzle velocity, 3,050. Energy, 2,900. And your performance out to 500 yards, like the 6.5 PRC, it's fine, but definitely on the lower end. Drop, it's pretty decent. Recoil, pretty darn good. Powder efficiency, for Weatherby, it's actually pretty decent. So at most, you're going to be burning around 60. Availability, it's okay. Versatility, pretty poor, being 6.5 millimeter. Price, well, it's Weatherby, so it's extremely expensive. Overall score, 20. And the very last cartridge we will discuss today, the 6.5 300 Weatherby. 142 grain AccuBond long range at a blistering velocity of 3,400 feet per second. At 500 yards, it is the king of speed, so you will have no issues having expansion. And it is the king of drop, or the least amount of drop. Recoil, it's okay. Quite a bit, though, for a 6.5 millimeter. Powder efficiency, well, there is none with the 6.5 300 Weatherby. Bullet diameter, again, a 6.5 millimeter. Availability, it's okay. Versatility, I'm leaning towards putting it in as okay just because of how fast it's going. Speed does kill. Price, very expensive. Overall score, 20 points. If all we ever cared about was performance and nothing about efficiency and price, the best ones would be 6.5 300, 26 Nosler, and 28 Nosler. The podium finishers and first place, we have the little cartridge that could, the 300 Winchester Short Magnum with a total points of 27 points. This cartridge came in first because of its extreme efficiency and its versatility, and really its ammo availability is quite good. Coming in at second place, just so the Hornady fanboys don't get too mad at me, you really could switch second and third if you want. Doesn't really matter. 300 PRC. I've always said this. It is the best PRC. 24 points. Third place, 30 Nosler. Extremely underrated, and it comes in with 24 points. Guys, let me know what you think of how I rated them. Where would you put the best, newest cartridge? Thanks for watching.